like in the.
Nice. I'm glad that you're like exploring. That's what streaming has done for me. It's like put me outside of my comfort zone, and then now it's creating all of these different ideas. I have new tools that I can play with, and I think it's exciting. I think it's a very exciting time for me because I think we are similar in the way that I think we've talked about this, where you're always learning. You're always like, growing and expanding and taking new ideas and trying to adapt yourself to them.
Yup. I loved your. It was something along the lines of like, I don't get better, I get busy or something. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not bitter. I get busy.
like, I love that.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of like negativity recently, and I let myself go down that road a little ways, and then I had to pull myself back and be like, you know what, you're better than this. you know, Take your head out of it and really focus on what's healthy for you. And it was hard, but it took a little while, but I think I'm okay. I think I'm there.
Right. Well, it's like I don't know. It's inspiring seeing everyone's like music streams, and like you said, streaming just inspires all these new ideas. And I'm like about to go through this touch designer course, and I'm like I could do it alone, or I could just live stream it. Um,
Yes.
and so I'm
So,
like
tell
that's
me
why
about touch designer. I haven't heard that term before.
so yeah, I really do not have the vocabulary to explain it, but pretty much it would allow me to create like interactive art experiences, like digital art experiences, like for like live events. So really my ultimate goal, what I'm trying to do is take what I do with my abstract paintings that I do with my body, and I want to be able to do them without the mess. And I want other people to be able to kind of experience that same thing, but again, like without the physical mess.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea is to be able to have like an art installation where people are using movement to create a painting live on a screen. Things that whether it could be like an ongoing art piece,
Mm-hmm.
something that you could like screenshot. It could be like a whole song. Just kind of in this like abstract movement way. So from what I understand, touch designer will allow me that those are, I guess, some of the tools that would allow me to make that possible.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, so it'd be like just another level of like my performances is like taking it from being such like a physical experience that's kind of like very individual, you know what I mean? It's specific,
Yeah.
and kind of open it up for more people to be able to like be the art, you know what I mean? And make
I
the
love that catchphrase, that mantra that you sort of put out into the universe is like, be the art. I love that.
Yeah, thank you. I've been stuck on that. This is like that's like my thing for this year. Kind of started with embodied abstraction. Then it was just kind of like, which is the same thing. I feel like it's kind of another way of saying it for me. But like, yeah, be the art. Like,
I love that. I love that. I want to welcome everybody. Hi. Thanks for joining us, guys. Let us know if you can't hear us. You should be able to hear us okay. Um, but oh, I was wondering, have you ever explored it's called like AR, like interactive sort of stuff? Because I think how beautiful would that be if somebody had their phone and they held it up to a stationary object or a location or something like that, and then you jumped out at them in like full art force through their
yeah,
phone. Like, I think your creativity and your style would lend itself almost to like guerrilla performances through the phone. I think that would be so beautiful.
I love that. I don't have any experience in that, but
Mm.
now that I'm sort of like, I've crossed a line, like
Yes.
crossed this line. Like I downloaded Touch Designer. I started looking into this other
So
thing called
beautiful.
Comfy UI.
I love
And
that.
then I, worked with the OBS, and I'm like, okay, like the line,
Yeah.
like I won't stop now, it'll become like an intense focus of mine, like for a while. So, yeah, I think that would kind of be a cool thing to like add in there.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Nope. Honestly, what like drives like the deepest thing for me is like when I die, I have this vision of like I want to have this what's it called? Shit, I can't think of the word. Um
Take your
where
time.
where you have like it's not like a video. Okay, you know, like on Star Wars when like they have little things that pop up, and she's like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, we need your help, or whatever.
Oh yeah, like it was like
What is
a laser
the word for that?
holograph, little holograph.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a hologram thing.
Yeah.
I want to create a performance that's to be played like at my services when I die. Um, and no one's ever going to see it before that. Like it's going to be like my final act. And so this has been something I've been thinking about for like a long time, of how that's something I'd like to do for the end of my life someday. And so this gets me like these are steps to actually get there to be able to do that. So this is kind of
That's
like
nice.
a inner
So
motivation.
it's a lifelong journey through the lens of art.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the dream for a lot of people. I'm just taking that in, okay? I'm just like, ooh, I love that. So I'm just posting, inviting all of our friends. We're gonna talk about crypto too, because I have some questions, just like really light stuff, because I'd like to ask about, of course, I want to ask about the performance art that you do and the process and experience, you know, and what got you into that. And then kind of segue into NFT NYC and what you're going to be doing at NFT NYC, and then also what you would like to do at NFT NYC, because I think it's a really good idea. And if we have any friends out there who are going to be in New York, I think this would be a really great time to like share that with them. And we could take a video clip of you talking about this, and we could like post it to our socials to see if we can get more friends to join us in our crazy little in your crazy little idea, which I'm fully supporting. 100% supporting the chaos. But let me just first go into our little creator chat situation.
The advantage of the computer. Like I'm on mobile, so this is all I can do. You know, like.
But that's all you need to do is sit there, like be your just arty creative self and just like soak it up. Yeah, streaming is okay. I know a lot of people bag on streaming because it doesn't seem like it takes effort, but it takes effort. It takes knowledge, it takes organization, it takes power. Thank God I'm on solar is all I have to say. It takes a lot of planning. So if you haven't done it yourself, then you don't talk about it.
I
Right.
I agree. That's I was like trying to come to the defense of anybody who was, saying that it was in any way low effort. And I'm like, I don't know. Like if it was low effort, wouldn't everyone do it? Like
Exactly. 100%. I want to say hi to Lena. They popped in and we're so happy to see your beautiful face. Well, your beautiful name tag. um, so you had me pull up, and I'm going to grab it up here and make sure we can see it. You had me pull up your hug, and so we can take a look at it, and hopefully we can see some cool stuff. So this is some still art that we have here, some beautiful pieces that some we're familiar with and some are new, like the Hidden Truths. I think I haven't seen that one recently. But yeah, I want you to drive us through and talk about performing live for people. That is something I have never done. How did you get into it? That's a good place to start.
okay, it's kind of a long story, but I'll do my best to keep it keep it reasonable. So It all started when I got into hula hooping. I got into hula hooping in 2008 after my second kid was born. And I left their dad. It was good. It was all fine, the split up. But like I just decided to change the course of my life entirely. We were gonna get married. I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, and then I decided one day that that wasn't what I wanted for my life, and I changed course and I went to live with my mom for a little while. And she had already begun this journey of like hula hooping. She was like making her own hoops and she was teaching classes and she was like really doing her thing with hula hoops. So she ended up like having to like some medical issues and had surgery, and it left her in a position where she couldn't teach the hula hoop classes. And so she asked if I was willing to pick up, you know what I mean, to pick up there. And I did. And that's kind of, I guess, where it all started. So once I started teaching the hula hoop classes, I connected with other people doing it, and we started doing live performances. And then the live performing, one thing led to another. And before I knew it, I was leading like a fire performance group. At one time, I had 12 members, and we were doing improv choreographed fire dances at festivals, which was super dope because, like, you would watch them. We developed this unique style of improv choreography. And so you'd watch them and be like, oh, yeah, this was, you guys definitely practiced this. And I'm like, no, we never did this before. That's kind of like where it started. And then COVID happened. And once COVID happened, it was like I really turned to live streaming as like a thing. And so it was like when it was just me by myself without an audience, a physical audience, then it was, I don't know, I did like 130 days of consecutive live yoga and hula hooping. It was sort of like me just doing personal improvement. Like these are the things I want to get good at. So if observation changes the state of the observed, then if I do these things live and people are watching me, then it's going to change the outcome and of what I'm doing. And I actually realized that it was really helpful. I did get good at all those things. You know what I mean? I did get flexible and I did get strong and I did get disciplined. And then I started to mess around with, well, what else can I do on live stream? Because I've done 130 days of the same thing, every day. And so then I was like, oh, what if I paint like this, like using my body? Like that'll be fun. And so Exotica, during the Exotica Expo, they're like an expo in the United States. They do 4 events every year, at least a decade old or more. They've been doing this. They invited me onto their live stream show because they couldn't do live events. So they turned to streaming events. And so I did my first live painting there. And then once like the world opened back up, like after COVID had kind of passed, I was like, you know what, I'd really like to try this live painting thing, like in front of a real audience and just see how it goes. And so then
how did it go?
It went really well. So my first one was at Exotica Miami in 2021. And it was, so the event was 3 days long. And so each day I would perform 20 to 30 minutes on stage, adding to this one painting. And so every day, the event, I'd go up there for 20 minutes and I had my set list of music and we just paint. So the whole premise of it is like, it's speed painting, it's abstract painting, it's improv. I would never really have any vision of what the painting was going to be, which was fun for me as well. Because it's like, all right, I'm going to get up here and I'm going to make a mess and have a fun time. And we're going to see how this goes. I don't know how it's going to go. This could be really boring. This could be really fun. I don't know. It ended up being really cool. And the painting turned out beautiful. And it sold as an NFT for, at the time, it was like $2,200, which was really exciting. I made like a whole clothing line out of that particular.
Can we see this painting? Is it anywhere where I can like pull it up?
I'm not sure.
Well, it's sold as an NFT. What marketplace?
So at the time, I was using a marketplace called Triple X Nifty. You can find it on OpenSea. However, it's called the
Okay.
so the painting itself is called the Catalyst, and it's, you can see all those pieces on OpenSea. And I released so many collections, a lot of which sold out on that marketplace, which unfortunately went under. But all the
Oh.
work still exists, on the blockchain.
Okay. So it's called The Catalyst, or
Yeah,
would it be under PolyAnnie? Like, what was the collection?
yeah, it'd be under PolyAnnie, Triple X Nifty, so like XXF, XXX Nifty.
Yeah, hold on. PolyAnnie, I think 532 items. Oh, PolyAnnie, not safe for work. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of stuff out there in the world.
All right. So it would be under XXX. Should I?
XXX Nifty and NIFTY.
NIFTY. Okay.
It should be there.
Okay, hold on. Well, let's just
Fold,
visit.
so someone else's wallet. So I don't even know how that works, but
Here's your account. So under your main account, I know we're taking a trip to OpenSea. It's a little new, not OpenSea, but okay. So I wonder if we could go XXX.
yeah, see, it would be because like we were in the early days and I didn't know any better. So it's under their contract, not mine. So I don't even think it shows up under like NFTs that I created. It's gonna
Okay,
it
XXX Nifty.
PolyAnnie. And there's like two different there should be two different like things that come up at least for that.
XXX Nifty. Let's try this one. And we'll go under, we'll search them under PolyAnnie. And then I really do love those wind chimes. Aw, no?
They're
Okay.
nice. And they came with the house. It's so cool. I always wanted wind chimes. Actually looked into how to make them at one point, but
I didn't know there was so much. I think we found them, Annie.
yeah, okay. So these are the ones that are, they never sold. So these NFTs are just like captured and no one can do anything with them, like, which is kind of weird.
Okay. So the painting from the story that you shared with us, is it here?
I'm not sure how to find it.
Okay.
It was through this same contract though, but it was bought. So these are the ones that they still hold.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay. Well, if we go here, we should be able to.
I could get the painting because it's so weird. I've sold so many paintings.
Oh, more from this collection. View collection.
Yes, there we go.
Okay, we're getting there, baby girl. We're getting there. All right. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. Oh, here. All right. Let's see.
So those pieces there are a piece, our collection called the Polycolorum collection.
Oh, I love this with the indigo one. This one is gorgeous. I want to fuck a rainbow. That's what I want to do now. I have new goals.
I love it.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love your confidence and your use of color. And I mean, it's chaos, but it's like gorgeous. Oh my goodness. So good. If you see,
that's it. I see it.
Is it the Goat edition?
No,
the Catalyst. There it is.
That's the one.
We found it. Okay.
Yeah.
So this was 4 days of painting in front of an audience.
Yes. And so each day I added a little more to it. And then the whole collection that there's a whole NFT collection I made to go with it, where I took, each day after the painting, I'd go and photograph myself all painted because my body matched this painting, because I painted it with my body, which was so fun. And, so then I would take the photographs of me painted from from the experience and then collage them, with parts of the painting.
That's so beautiful. I want to pause and I want to say a couple of your fans have just popped into the chat and they want to say hello. Memento Morbi and Gurky are here to support you. So I just wanted to share that with you because I know you can't see the chat. So they both say hello.
Thank you.
Oh, I love this. So take us through like the first, because was this your first performance that you sort of did this?
That was my first like in-person performance that I made this painting. And
Okay. Take us through day one. Like, it's your first time. Were you nervous? Did you make a mistake? Like, did you forget something?
Yeah, so I've been performing since like 2008, and the one thing that I've learned is that it really, like, the anxiety and the nerves, like, never gets easier, honestly.
Don't tell me that.
Even though, like, you do gain more confidence of like, okay, yeah, this is really nerve-wracking, but like whatever. And so you get up on stage and there's this definitive moment that one has to decide, especially when you're doing improv, is when you have to decide, like, okay, this is it. People are watching. There's no room for fault. Like, you can't stop. You just have to keep going. Whatever happens is going to happen. It's going to be great and it's going to be fine. And so I stage and I've got like all my paints and my canvas and my tarps and everything, and I'm like, all right, well, here we go. Like, but I also had at that point, like, at least like a decade of performance experience of like doing similar things, but with a different medium. It was always with
Okay.
dance. So I had kind of like developed this way of tapping into the flow state of just like, once you're on stage, it's like you shut down like your prefrontal cortex, you shut down like the part that's like,
you go into fight or flight mode.
kind of. It's like you just shut down that part of yourself that's self-aware, and you go. And so I was like, all right, well, we're just gonna go. And I feel like with every painting, there's always this experience of like, it gets to a point where I look at it and I have to take a minute, and I'll look at it while still trying to be engaging with the audience, but still trying to also engage with the painting and be like, yeah, this really sucks. Like,
that's a really good question. How do you balance your attention towards the artwork and then your, of course, performance part of it, attention towards the audience, and make sure, like you said, the piece doesn't turn out like trash? Or is that even a concern at this point?
It really can't be a concern, because once it's a concern, it can overtake you and really warp your energy. So you really can't let it be a concern. You just kind of have to go into it with like, it's kind of a life lesson as well. Like, okay, it might be not great right now, but this isn't the end. So we're going to keep going, and it's going to come together. It's going to come together. So you almost have to have this like blind faith of like, all right, I'm not really I don't know where we're going, and I don't really like this, but like, we're going to pull it together, and in the end, it's great. Like,
and how do you pull in your audience? I'm sure just viewing and watching is like mesmerizing enough, but are there any techniques that you use to like kind of draw them in, or like, how do you kind of like pull them closer into your world as you're doing this?
well, because it's based with like music, it kind of becomes like a dance too. And so it's kind of easy to tune into the music. And then through that, you can kind of be expressive, you know what I mean? And engaging. And so I have to balance both like getting into like no mind when I'm like actually like body on the canvas, and then the dancing part. But then also I have to be mindful to like look out into the audience, make eye contact with people, you know what I mean? It directly engage with them. And so it kind of also developed into this sort of like burlesque-ish performance. And
Ooh.
so what I've done is like, I'll start with like a lot of clothes on and shed layers, and that's one way to engage
Ah,
with.
so that's where your performance experience sort of comes in and really like shines, is like the layers and the eye contact and like making sure to do that part of it, I guess you could say. Ooh.
Really inspired by like Willie Nelson as a performer. I've seen him live a couple of times, and he is inspiring as a live artist because the whole time he's like playing and singing, he'll point at people and he'll wink and he'll wave and he'll blow kisses and stuff. And this was before I was a performing artist when I saw him, but I always appreciated that about his live performances, and it stuck with me how impactful it can be to just make eye contact with people and directly be like, hey, I see you, like, like, and if I'm not feeling that, like, there are times, when I've performed where I'm not feeling that at all and I'm really nervous, I'll just completely shut down and not even look at the crowd at all. And I feel like the paintings have still turned out really good, and that's okay. So it's always different, every live experience is always different. Depends on the crowd's energy. It depends on my energy. It depends on like,
it's a real feedback loop.
yeah,
It sounds like.
yeah.
For this particular piece, because I'm very curious, and so I'm going to pick your brain. I hope that's okay. On the second and third days when you came back to the piece, after working on it, how did you start again? Like, was it easy to get back into that headspace, or did you kind of have to start from square one and kind of like hype yourself up again? Or as the days passed, was it easier? I don't want to say easier, but like easier to slip into that headspace? Or, I'm kind of curious how you did 3 whole or 4 whole days of this work.
Yeah, so 3 days. Honestly,
3
the first
days. Yeah.
day I feel like is the hardest, like kind of just like the starting,
Mm-hmm.
the hardest part. The second day, I feel like is always a little weird because it's that usually in the second day is when it reaches that point of like, what have we done? Like, what have we done and where are we going, and how is this going to end, But then
Yeah.
there's sort of this like I go into it with, okay, today I need to wrap it up. Like the painting is today.
It's happening. Today we're done. So as we're talking, of course, I'm absorbing and taking this in. And there's some elements here and that I want to ask you about. So the first one that caught my eye after really letting my vision, my rest on the piece, is there's like a crisscross pattern that is sort of etched into the painting. I can only imagine that was towards the end day of the day. But it's like a grid almost, just like layered and etched into it. And I was thinking, like, how did you, like, why?
I ask myself the same question, which is
I love it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, what brought that on? I was like curious.
that's why I love making this art so much, because I get to ask myself these same questions because I'm just like such a frame of mind where I'm just moving without a lot of conscious thought at all. A lot of times when I perform, I even black out. Like I don't remember. I'll have like flashes of like memory, you know what I mean? Of moments of my body against the canvas or seeing somebody in the audience or just like there's like weird specific random memories like that click in. But a lot of times I just kind of black out. And so then afterwards, like a part of the experience for me is to sit and I'll look at these paintings for days, weeks, months. Some of them that haven't sold yet, I'll look at them for years and be like, what is this? Why did I do that? And then now that I've done, let's see, that 5 or 6 of these now, like this, like live paintings.
Yeah.
Look at them in succession and notice patterns and notice like reoccurring themes or whatnot. Like this painting and then the third painting also, it has almost the same crisscross patterns in it. They almost like, they're almost runes. Even I've looked into rune symbols because I'm like,
We'll
these are,
have to look at that next because I'm curious to see the progression for sure. And then I absolutely love it because at first I didn't notice them, but now that's all I can notice is the handprints. There's like two at the top and then there's like one in the mid, and it's just like, I love it. I'm just like, okay. How did you, what tools did you use? Adjust your body, or were there other tools involved?
just my body.
Just my body, baby.
I'll get the paint, and sometimes I'll use the tube to
Oh,
canvas, you know what I mean? Or the back of the, because it comes up and it's like a flat edge at the top
yeah.
of paint. I'll use like the back end of that, but usually it's hula hoops sometimes because I usually have them on stage with me. Because it's like speed painting, there's always the issue as well of like, if you don't let the paint dry enough, the colors will mud together.
Well, yeah,
and so that's like another thing I have to keep like account for, of like, I can't keep adding color and keep adding color, you know what I mean? Because it's going to be like a disgusting mess. So I keep hula hoops on stage if I need to fill time, if I know that like it needs a minute.
okay. So it's part of the process, but it's also,
yeah, I can use them as stencils like as well, which some of the paintings that came after this, you can definitely see the influence of the hula hoops in them, where the spirals start to come in.
absolutely love this. Okay. Is there anything you would like to tell us about this painting before we move on? Because it's really beautiful and it's your first performance, and I can't imagine it getting better from here, but I'm about to see. So
yeah, I don't know. Honestly, that painting really means the world to me, and I couldn't believe how well it turned out, and that's why I called it the catalyst, because I'm like, this is going to be the focus of my work for the next few years, like after the experience that I had. That was wonderful.
And do you know if the person who purchased this painting was at your show and they purchased it because they were moved?
They were not there at the show. I do know who purchased the painting. I still have the painting in my possession, because I think they live in Portugal. And so to ship the painting to Portugal, it cost more than what they like paid for the painting at the time. So we're still trying to work that out. Eventually, one day I'm going to get that painting to them, but not at this time. So
yeah. Morby did a really wonderful thing for me because I purchased one of his physical pieces, and it's probably because I'm capable, but he took it off of the frame and he rolled the canvas and shipped me the canvas, and that seemed to work really well.
yes, that
but
would definitely be an option.
I'm wondering if this one has like lots of layers, and then if you tried to roll it, it might damage some of it.
It might, honestly, because that's like, it's a lot of paint on that canvas, and I definitely would be concerned about that. And all paints are also blacklight reactive, so it looks completely different under a black light.
Oh, there needs to be a picture of that. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, so I'm wondering if they're here.
Some of the other there should be some paintings on there. The fourth painting that I ever made on stage sold before I was even done with it, which was really cool. So that was an instance where somebody was there live, they connected with it, and they were like, it's mine. You know what I
mean? That's amazing. I love that. To take home a physical representation of the mood and the feeling in the space at the event, and take that home and be able to relive that just by looking at I could see that being, I'd be that person for sure.
Right.
Okay.
have that ability, you know, when you hang art on your wall, like the energy of the person, you know what I mean, is always captured in that. And, you know, whether you're aware of it or not, it's still like beaming into the space. And so it would be really cool to have a painting that you had an experience with.
I love that. Let's take a look here. Now, this paint, would you say it was the fourth one or the fifth one that we wanted to look at that kind of had similar elements?
Hold on. If you go, there is a collection of all the paintings in order.
You tell me and I will find it.
On the site where it's like buy me a coffee, like the Kofi, KOFI, maybe something like that. Something I tried out once as a way to accept support, and I think I created a
Ko-fi support creators. Does this look familiar?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I think that might be the only place that there's actually like an album or something that just directly shows all of the paintings.
Okay.
Probably except for that one. But.
All right. So it looks like I have to sign up. So let's sign up with our Google. That's okay.
Nice.
I don't mind. Connected. Okay. Oh, you guys have no. Let me check my mail. I'm here to support others. Next. Yeah, that's fine. No, we don't want a browser. Okay, so we are going to find.
Now I know it's in all my links, I'm pretty sure. And if you just like Google PolyAnnie, I'm pretty sure that's one of the ones that comes up.
Cool. Let's see. Where do we find? How do I find you?
That I don't know.
I don't want my page. I want PolyAnnie's page. Recently followed. See all. More. Yeah, night modes. Ugh, that's better. My eyes are about ready to pop out of my head. Okay, so let's see Ko-fi PolyAnnie. Oh, here's your Ko-fi. I love it.
All right.
Oh.
It's here.
Okay, we're going to your gallery. I love going on like new adventures with people because I learn about stuff. So if anybody wants, I'll put the PolyAnnie's whatchamacallit, and you can send PolyAnnie a coffee. I'll put that in here.
Coffee any day.
Yeah, there's the link. Buy PolyAnnie a coffee because she works hard, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. I even have on that page like my whole like one of the collections I created. I like a poem story.
Really? Okay, we're gonna go to that next. First, let's do. Oh my God, there's so many pretty things here. I want to talk about.
So on my screen, I'm not seeing it. What you're seeing?
Oh, sorry. Let me share this tab instead. There we go.
There it is. That shows both the blacklight versions and the regular versions in order. So those are like the newest, and then as you go down, it'll be the.
All right. So tell me when to where to stop to see. Oh, there's the catalyst. Oh, here's the catalyst in blacklight. So I wanted to see this. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's so beautiful. It is really pretty.
Yeah,
Mm.
that in the blacklight, it's more like a circle with like it's more like an eye.
I just was gonna say it looks like it's looking at you. It went from passive to like, yeah, that's fire. That's 100% fire. I am now a fan of blacklight paint. I did not know I liked it until just now.
Black is so fun because you can have like two completely different paintings in the same painting depending on what lighting you have, and I think that is so fun.
Perfect example is portals. Gorgeous.
Yep. So Pathways was the second one, and that one is the painting that I've sold. Like I sold that for $5,000, and I've never sold anything for that much money before. So that was really significant to me.
Wow.
Then Portals was the one that came after that. And then after Portals, I took about a year off because of burnout.
That's fair.
Yeah, 2021 was an amazing year. I made a lot of art. I made a lot of NFTs, and it completely left me kind of incapable of existing for a little while. And then when I came back to it was the one that's like the rainbow, and that was the one that sold on stage before I was done with it.
Oh, here we go. So this is rainbow.
That
this
guy.
One. Yes.
And
so talk
that
about this performance. Oh, sorry. I think we have a delay. My apologies.
but that one was only 2 days of painting.
Okay.
So that was a bit of a shorter experience.
Still beautiful. I love the little heart at the bottom there. Cute.
So the person who bought it, he was like, it was like, would you sign it with a kiss? And so I thought it would be a good idea, you know? So I put paint on my lips and I tried to kiss the painting. What a bad fucking idea. Yeah, like, it was the worst thing I've ever done. Like, oh, yeah. But I did kiss the painting. I will never kiss the painting again.
Do not paint your lips, folks.
No.
That's going to be the lesson. That's going to be my takeaway from today's chat. Whatever you do, don't paint your lips.
Don't. I was just like, oh no. I'm like, go like clean myself up now. And I'm like in the bathroom, like,
Aww.
paint out of my mouth. I'm like, no, this is not what it was meant for.
Oh my goodness. I love that. That's so beautiful. And just because they're here and they're really beautiful and interesting, tell us a little bit about the meeting room.
So the meeting room is definitely my most dear painting I have ever made. I have a really deep connection to this particular painting. It's very special to me in the way that, like, when I spend time with my paintings after I make them, this one I spent a particularly long time with, and we got deep. Like, this painting has taken me on spiritual journeys that is hard to put into words. Like, I have traveled into this painting, and this painting has taught me things that is also hard to put into words. And the more that I explore this painting, the more that I learn from it. So the meeting room is basically like a place where you go to connect like with your higher self, and it's a place that you go to connect with like other dimensional beings. So again, it's really weird. I don't know if we want to go that weird today, but like, that painting hasn't sold, and it's still in my house, and it's hanging like across, like I sleep, and it's like at where I can see it where I'm laying in bed. No, it's not that. It's like right behind my head, but it's like right by my bed when I sleep. And yeah, it's like just special that even the imagery, because I'm creating this abstractly. So afterwards, when I look at it and I'm like, what are the messages? What are the themes? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like this one in particular, like there's a cardinal. There was a cardinal, like a bird, a very clear bird that like is shown in there. There's an alien. There's like to me what appears to be like some kind of doorway and a queen leading some kind of chariot kind of into this space. But the
Yeah.
cardinal sits kind of on top of the doorway of this portal. And so after I made this painting and started exploring it, I started to see the world differently for a little while. It was kind of very strange for me, actually. It's like I would drive, I was door dashing at the time to make extra money. And I would drive and I would just see the road was painting. You know what I mean? Like everything was a painting. Everything was just this weird abstract space. So the meeting room is the painting that I created, this kind of poem story about, to try in my best way to kind of tell the story of like what this painting meant to me and the doors that it opened up.
Absolutely. The more I look at it, the more I see for sure. I can totally understand why you would get lost in this piece for sure. I see the alien, I see the portal, I see yin and yang too, which I think is crazy. In like a real, it's a strange way, but if you look at it enough, you're like, yep, there's good and evil right there hanging out. But that's just my initial like vibe as I'm like taking it in with my eyes for sure. Yeah.
And so that's kind of the fun thing about abstract art in general is like just like it doesn't represent anything in particular, you know, and it
Nothing and everything all at once.
yeah, you can at it, you can.
Yeah. So if somebody were a fan and wanted to get maybe prints of these, like, you know, maybe like poster prints of these to put up on their walls at home, asking for a friend. That friend is me. I'm the friend. Do you have sort of like a POD spot that you like?
I do, but I actually have physical prints of some of this work already available. They're just kind of like singular prints.
Yeah.
Got printed once upon a time that I just haven't really had the focus to put up as a listing anywhere.
Nice. Well, if
But
you're in New York, and if you can bring one, I would love to buy it off of you.
I in particular, do you have both a small print and a large print of the meeting room? I'm not sure. I think the other ones, yes, as well. I don't remember.
That's okay. We can talk about it offline. But
You're
this is beautiful.
gonna
I love these colors, purples and greens. It hits a lot of like good feels for me for sure. This is a beautiful piece.
thank
Thank
you.
you for sharing it with us. Thank you for sharing you with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for wanting to know and for asking.
Of course. I am so curious about people and I love to learn and I love to share. And I wanted to do something, you know, beneficial with this the live stream. And I thought, you know, I love talking to creators. So I wanted to practice. I haven't really done live streaming interviewing for a long time. So you're really gentle and easy, like easing back into something that I really enjoy doing. So thank you so much. And yeah, and where can we find you if we want to follow you? I'm sure everyone in the chat already knows, but
Well,
for our new friends who might be tuning in later.
well, you can follow me on Juicy, where I'm active every day. Juicy is
Mm-hmm.
right now, so you can find me on Juicy. You can find me on X, PolyAnnie01. I've also been recently posting on Instagram again because I don't like Instagram, honestly, but a lot of like, I have a lot of supporters on Instagram that I know enjoy to hear from me. And a lot of people from like my old life follow me there. So I figure maybe I'll like pop back in there for a little while and add some stuff to the gallery and reconnect there again. But yeah, mostly these days, mostly juicy and eggs.
Definitely. And your subscription, let's actually check you out on Enjoy Juicy before.
And then I have shit, what was I gonna say?
I don't know.
I don't
Well,
know.
I find. Well, I find. Thankfully, we're only streaming to Juicy right now, and I can cut this out if we decide to use. Oh, look at this. Okay. I saw Dolly sewing these shorts, and they absolutely look amazing. Oh my gosh.
I don't know about you, but there it is. There it is.
Look at these shorts. They're so cute. So creative. This Juicy is full of some of the most creative people, of course. Got to talk about Nessie. There you are today. Okay. Oh, yes. Flex that NFT NYC vibe. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
So, PolyAnnie at NFT NYC this year. Talk to us.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be my third year talking about adult NFTs. So pretty much, 10 minutes is not a long time to talk, obviously. So I'm gonna, just pretty much give the rundown, the current update of the space, what's being done, what challenges there still are, and what innovations kind of we want to see moving forward as far as like adult NFTs, adult creators and NFTs, sexy art and NFTs. Just kind of want to like my goal with NFT NYC with my talks have always been like how to update the community about where we're at and what we need and what's going on from this perspective of an actual creator. You know what I mean? From
Yeah.
that perspective, not like, people who think that, oh yeah, adult content, adult industry and Web3, like it'll be huge, but like here's where we're actually at and here's what's actually happening. Here's what we need, so that'd be cool.
Love that. Excellent. So I will be there too for the event. I really hope we can meet up because you have a really, really cool idea. And I love it. Oh no, water bottle down.
Oh no, good. It didn't break.
So speaking of being the art, you wanted to put together a little bit of a mini event. Do you want to share the details of that?
I do. And I'm kind of at this space with it right now because logistically, like I'm gonna need like a little bit of help with pulling it together logistically. But the vision is a mandalas project at NFYC where we can all be the art together. And so it would require like a drone camera and a group of people to use their bodies to create patterns, laying on the ground, So we would all be laying on the ground in different patterns, like in a circle, So I don't know, it's not hard for me to imagine, but it might be hard for other people to imagine. But if you have, say, 10 people in a circle and their arms are all up like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their legs are spread or their legs are together, right? That makes a very different image, So it's really just about like using your body to create patterns, but with other people together. And I think it would just be a really fun experience to add to NFT NYC, where a lot of the focus is on about learning, about viewing art, but there's not been a whole lot that I've seen that's actually about like participating in the art. You know what I mean? Like creating it real time with other people, like that maybe you wouldn't have a chance to collaborate with before. So what we need is, a place to do it that allows for drone photography and enough people who are willing to, kind of get creative and lay in a circle. And I feel like a part of it too is like not is also adding this element of improv of like, okay, all right guys, now let's try this, now let's do this, and just having anybody and everybody be able to just input, be like, oh wait, what if we do this, so I've done this before at yoga events and at flow arts events. And it's always just such a fun experience, especially when you open up that creativity for other people to input. It's like, I am just hosting this, but you all feel free to, you know what I mean? Like, if you have an idea
Yeah.
out, you know what I mean? Like, we'll do it because, this is like kind of an evolving, literally a human mandala. Like, we're all using our bodies in sync to make different shapes and different patterns. And I think it could just be so fun to do that. And the possibilities of like the art that could come after that, you know what I mean? The post edit art from different people's perspectives could be cool. Um, I'm also seeing like an opportunity for like sponsorships where like, the clothes that people are wearing, you know what I mean? It could even be like a representation of like different elements, you know what I mean, of the space. Kind of all put together, coming together to make something, cohesive. So I feel like still got a lot of work to do to pull it together, but I feel very like confident about the vision and about the why of the vision and how cool it would be. I did reach out to NFT NYC directly to see if it's something like that they could host, or something like that they could help with. Uh,
Yeah.
but it was met with, we could provide you with a 10 by 10 space for $10,000. And
Oh.
oof. And they're like, is that within the budget? And I was just like, lol, like my budget is zero right now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you're talking to artists here, dude.
Drone. You know what I mean? Like no drone photography. And I'm like, yeah, thank you for your response, but like that's not gonna work out. Like, we need a space where we can have enough people, as many people as want to join. That's kind of the goal, is like something that everybody could participate in, if they wanted to. For an art experience, an experience of being the art, with other people in its most ambitious vision. It'd be like all these people, and I could go around and paint them. You know what I mean? While they're while they're
Oh my
like
goodness.
like dripping paint on everybody. So it has layers of complexity, but it's at its most simplest. It's like, let's all lay in a circle and make shapes and see what cool would come out of that.
Dolly is shocked that 10K for like a 10 by 10 space. Like she is like, that's nuts.
It's fun.
Oh man, I am so sorry I kept you past. I know I told you it would be like 45 minutes to an hour. So I appreciate your patience with me and entertaining me and telling me all about you. I love chatting with you. There's so many layers to you. And so I feel like I'm only just getting started.
True. Thank you for taking the time and
Yeah.
asking the question. Like, it makes me so happy. Everyone likes to talk about their art, and for artists, it could be sometimes hard to share the narrative behind it. You know what I mean? It's like it makes sense to us, but like, how do you make it make sense to other people? So when there's a direct conversation, that really helps a lot.
Oh, well, you have a beautiful day, and I hope we can do this again. Maybe like post NFT NYC to like download at what happened and how it went off, if it went off, like all the good stuff. So we'll definitely
Right.
have to hop on this live stream again because I've had so much fun with you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, I love you. Have a beautiful day.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you guys for sharing and showing up with us. And I'm going to end the live stream and then I'm going to pop back on with my passive music live stream. So I love you guys. Have a beautiful day. All right.